Alright, so today I ended up taking one trade across my three fundeds. I ended up losing $500. So how much does it say? It was a really okay. You know what? We'll just try it out first, and then I'll get into what happened. So there we go. Then yeah. So coming into market open, we have this already S&P divergence between here as we clear out this level or this low from as we clear out this low from Tuesday on NQ. However, ES doesn't do that, so we already get an S&P divergence here. That is already looking good. And then coming in the market open again, we get an S&P divergence right here. So what ended up happening today was that I got up at 7:30, like on the dot. Ended up sleeping around 6 hours, which is not optimal. Entirely my fault and entirely could have been avoided, but that's just what ended up happening, right? So coming in the market open, we get this dump that gives us another S&P divergence, right? And that forms a 5-minute gap. And what ends up happening is NQ ends up taking out that 5-minute gap and forming another 5-minute gap. Ooh, it's so small. But yeah, so we end up taking out that 5-minute gap, right? And forming a 5-minute gap here that holds during the time that I was in a trade for. So yeah, we have these gaps here. And as soon as this inversion play happened, this was already my bread and butter, S&P divergence, 5-minute inversion gap. I should have just entered right here, but I was very drowsy and I wasn't able to properly analyze what was going on in the market. So that did hold me back a little bit. However, so what ended up happening was that I entered like literally all the way up here. I protected my stop at this 5-minute fair value gap and I had targets up here. So yeah, this is the trade I ended up taking. Things that I fucked up on heavily was entering when we were into a 5-minute fair value gap right here. Definitely should have not entered right there. And yeah, but despite entering right there, price action wasn't terrible, you know. Price action was really bad. And after we kind of swept out this area and had this big jump or this big big move up, we kind of just sit here and consolidate for the next literal hour. But we do end up tapping into my 5-minute fair value gap and pushing back out. So that did give me that confidence that, okay, this trade is going to play out and probably seek out liquidity in London. However, it just does not happen, and we get this consolidation back and forth. And I like during this period, I was thinking heavily of leaving the trade early, but I just didn't for some reason. You know, I said, "Fuck it, I'm gonna stay," and that is entirely just my fault right there. Like, I don't know why I did not exit that trade, but yeah, that's basically the reflection to today. And I'll even show you guys my notes here that I took down on Notion. I was just really reflective on this trade. I was highly disappointed in myself. I was like, yeah, like that can't happen. Okay, so these were yesterday's trades. So let's go here. March 26th. There you go. Yeah, fucked up here as I entered super late doing VG and Jazzy. And I couldn't do a proper analysis of what's happening in the market and see the S&P and inverse fair value gap play out. So here I'm mentioning how if I had my proper amount of sleep and I went to bed on time, I would have had gotten this inversion and at least played out a 101 or broken even compared to taking this loss. And then, yeah, I had multiple chances to leave consolidation range, but got greedy and only chased the money value. This is very true. I was just keep thinking like, okay, like maybe it'll go back, failing to realize that this setup should have never been taken in the first place. And I was kind of just FOMOing into a trade. Overall, yeah, just really reflecting on this loss here is just like, bro, it's an uncomfortable loss. You know what I mean? Like, I should have been better. Should have woke up earlier and should have just been walked in more. But now I have a note to self: if I'm not up by 7, I'm not gonna look for a trade. So yeah, that is it. Anyways, that's the trade recap for today. On a separate note, YouTube stuff. I am looking to expand on the type of content I'm making. I don't know why the camera's so bright there, but yeah, so be prepared to see some sort of different videos, more videos that are proper videos, just not just like a trade recap. Like I want to get into proper content creation and document my journey and my path to becoming a consistent trader who's making consistent money from the markets. And yeah, really excited for that stuff. Have some big stuff planned coming up. So yeah, that's about it. Take care.